All right, so today we're watching I Stopped Worrying About AI, and you should too. I've been a huge fan of Harold's for years now, and the very first creator spotlighted in my newsletter was actually Harold. So, huge fan of his work and what he's doing. This video just dropped, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch it and react to it. So, let's do this.
Lately, I've been asking myself one question.
Do I still believe less is more? Should I
The
really be
text
able to see
already
every
is
idea I've
crazy.
ever imagined when most of them are trash? Because AI says that reality was holding me back. That what I always wanted, that what we've always needed is more. More ideas with instant feedback. But I don't think that's true. We don't need more ideas, just better ones. And poetry illustrates this perfectly. It
Matrix
creates the
type
restraint,
vibe.
not abundance, off the idea that less is more. And we all used to believe this to be true, but if we still do, then why are we so obsessed with having more?
More money, more views, more violence.
Okay. I just want to talk about the intro before we get too far into it. This is like a shed. It's lit in the back. It's also one overhead light, just like a spotlight. This is a strong light. That's actually crazy. What is that? This is cool. You could see the dolly tracks in front. The
Should I
planning
really
too, like this
Lately,
intro
I've been
shot.
asking myself one question.
do I still believe less?
You know, this masking. See, even the glow on the sides is pretty cool.
More envy, more anger, more nicotine, more dopamine, more bets, more sex, more sadness. More of everything except
Rhythm.
meaning. We choose to cheap things and
Certain
wonder why we're
rhythm
broke.
to it.
But it begs the question, if we live in excess, should we create an excess too? If no idea is off limits, should we strip our morals too? Should we create without intention? And will that really lead us to more freedom or to more noise, to impatience, to confusion,
I
and
love
to
how
unemployment?
it's
When
like
everything is
straight
possible,
poetry, you
what
know, the
makes
rhythm of
anything
it.
meaningful?
This and many other worries have been at the forefront of my mind.
Feels like slam
And if you're an
poetry.
artist and you feel pummeled by fear, I'm right there with you. But I can't stand all the doom, and I can only really deal with my problems through my art. So I figured today I'd start to answer some of these questions by turning my worries about AI into poetry.
Okay. The
This
visuals
is
are
my
really
mind.
cool.
This is a worry. And this is an idea. My mind makes me work through my worries before I can see my ideas clearly. And when I do, my best ideas come to me. I don't know why, but that's just my process. So on a night I was worried about AI, I knew that if I confronted that fear, something would come. So I set out in pursuit of one great idea. Now, so much of this was happening in my head that I needed a way to ground myself, and I knew where to start. My instinct told me that I needed to put a face to my fears. I just needed to see what I was afraid of. And usually when I'm afraid of something, I'm really afraid of someone. But in the case of AI, who was there to actually be afraid of? So I found an old mannequin
Dude,
and
what
began to
is
give
this
AI
production?
an identity. Was I afraid of the next great AI filmmaker?
This is-
Of a tech startup in San Francisco? Of another guy in a suit? The answers were all no.
okay.
Just as I started to doubt myself, I caught a glimpse of the idea. It gave me a clue.
The amount of shots.
I had a hunch I was doing too much. This time, I would dress up the mannequin with something that I would wear. And as soon as I did that, the answer became obvious. This is what I was afraid of.
Alright.
This is AI, a mannequin that can talk like me, dress like me, and ultimately replace me. But if you really think about it, it doesn't make much sense. Just because AI can create doesn't mean I can. And I'm real. Why am I so sure that people will prefer a false version of myself? This is an imposter and I know it. So what is it that I'm really worried about?
It felt deeper than just being replaced. So I began to write down everything that worried.
Dude, okay. Before we get like too far into it, I just want to look at the set. What a great shot. This feels like it's a lot further back, like on the street. Or what is this? Yeah, this looks like a garage. So, but like shooting almost from the sidewalk. You know what I mean? As opposed to the camera being closer with a wider lens, this looks like a little further back and then punched in, zoomed in a little bit. But like the symmetry looks good. The way it's lit, pretty smart with using these clear blue plastics to give off that softness, and then in a lot of the other frames, right? Or is that maybe there's a color grade? I don't know. But like the amount of details and shots, overhead lights there, even the symmetry here with the little pieces in the back, everything is straight. Yeah, variety of shots. Every thing I'm scrubbing through is like a different shot. Visually, it just looks good. And then here, it's like a different vibe. You know, you get that blue tone. This has that warmer skin tone feel with a greenish background.
Began to write down everything that worried me about AI, searching
Whoa.
for one common theme, something that would point me to the idea. And in the process, I had begun to see glimpses, but in
That
the
was
end,
clean.
I was
Whoa.
just doing too much.
Oh,
There were too many worries. I needed a way to reduce them, restraints, something that would force me to choose. In Newspaper Blackout, Austin Kleon describes how in a fit of writer's block, he started making poems by blacking out newspaper articles. With
the
one word
shots
guide.
here.
He kept the words he liked and blacked out the rest. It was so simple, I decided to try it myself. Just like Kleon
Man, the
deleted
movement
words
in
to
these
find his
shots is
poems,
crazy.
I began to delete worries to find my ideas. In the process, I went to find some newspapers of my own. Because
Bruh,
deleting the worries
this
revealed something
section.
about the way I think. It all came back to the same feeling, that everything was too much. So I decided to focus on one theme. Abundance. That night, I came home with a stack of newspapers, ready to do something.
What
with
a
what I'd found.
vibe this-
AI believes more is more. I believe less is more. But sometimes I wonder if I only believe that because I know I can't keep up. AI's output overwhelms me. It's what worries me the most because it's the most unfair. But I knew if I worked through this fear, the idea would come. So I devised an experiment.
That's crazy.
I would make newspaper blackout poems about abundance and have ChatGPT do the same. I'd find an article, take a picture, drop it into ChatGPT, ask it to make a poem, and then I'd come back to the same article and make my own. And since there's nothing here to sell, volume and speed don't matter. It's just a test of creative depth. It was finally time to see if my worries were justified. Could I really be replaced by AI? This experiment, while flawed, was
Okay.
effective.
God, this whole sequence was nuts. Great transition
Something
here
that would point
with
me
Pan.
to the idea. And in the process,
And it's cool because there's so much movement. It's not just the pan. This also feels like a little zoomed in, and he's walking into frame. So whoever's doing the camera work, like it feels like a dance.
I'd begun
almost,
to
you
see
know?
glimpses.
Here,
But in the end,
you gotta pull the focus. This you are dollying back.
I was just doing.
This looks good because this looks very similar to how the words in the book look, you know, when you're crossing them out. And this is what you see first. You actually don't even see the book. And then there's like lights. You
And
see how the lighting
just
set up?
do-
The overhead, it has like this soft, it looks like C-stands in the back or like clamps, I guess to clamp the lights, but then
Doing too much.
even the soft light in the back behind this gives it so much more depth.
There were too many worries. I need a way to
This
reduce
too.
them. Restraints.
A little dolly
Something that
back,
forced me to choose. In Newspaper Blackout, Austin Kleon describes how in a fit
moving
of writer's
there.
block,
Yeah, see, so like this, very similar to that black on the wall with the white writing.
with one rule to
Oh.
guide him. He kept the words he liked
That's cool how he did that first and then showed this.
and blacked out the rest. Self.
See,
Just like
movement here
Kleon
too.
deleted words to find
Just
his
a
poems,
little slight movement. This whole section was crazy. What?
I began to delete worries to find my ideas. In the process,
Boom. I didn't even realize that one. That one, the movement.
In the process, I went to find some newspapers of my own because deleting the worries revealed
Coming
something
back
about the
into
way I
it.
think.
Oh,
It all came back
same
to the
motion,
same feeling,
turning.
that everything was too much. So I decided to focus on one theme. Abundance. That night, I came home with a stack of newspapers, ready
Ugh.
to do something with what I'd found. AI believes more is. It's what worries me the most.
Yeah, there's just like, and I don't know, the color here looks great. Like the hair looks like a tint of green, you know, which works well with the brown jacket and the color. Great lighting here too. That blue on the face, wild. This is so dope. Production value.
AI can't search through the abundance of popular poetry online to pass those patterns off as its own. And when you remove its ability to remix culture, AI
Makes
has nothing
sense.
left to say. It has nothing to express. It has no needs, no fears, no baggage, and therefore no perspective. This question kept me up at night. Even after I had realized
These
that AI would
transitions
not
are so
completely
dope.
replace me, the idea still wasn't coming. So that night I kept digging through newspapers, searching for a clue, until something finally came through. So far, all I had done was think, but if I wanted to get closer to the idea, I knew I had to take action. My first instinct was to create something physical.
The green and
From the
blues
abundance poems,
of this whole
I knew
video.
too many options would leave me paralyzed.
Love it.
So before I started, I gave myself a restraint. I could only create what I found from these newspapers. And I started to read them. But I had nothing until one particular newspaper caught my eye. I opened it up and found an article for an art technique called decoupage.
Welcome to the channel, people. Today we're talking about
I found a tutorial and I learned that people use this to decorate furniture. But with the
Crazy.
newspaper scraps and some glue, I realized I could decorate the mannequin instead. Without overthinking it too much, I began to believe that this could bring the idea. So I got to it. I spent all night dressing up the mannequin with all the newspaper scraps I had left, and the blackout poems. And bit by bit, I thought this could be it. I thought the idea would come. This was a simple way to show the world the way I feel about AI, the way that it feels less like a tool and more like a false god. But for some reason, this time the idea didn't give me a clue. I wasn't sure why. I'd made these
that little
restraints
added
like the
movement.
poems had taught me. I'd taken
Nice.
action, like I said I would. But when I looked at the mannequin, it meant nothing. That's when I realized I didn't know my process as well as I thought I did. Even with the restraints, I still created the same way AI does. Alone. AI treats people like restraints, obstacles, that if we can automate to get more of what we want, we should. But the truth is that I've never made anything of meaning without other people. What actually creates meaning? I began to list everything I've ever made with people. School, work,
Collaboration.
sports, searching for action. And then, the idea deemed me worthy of another clue.
What a great shot.
When I looked over at the mannequin, I began to see a new poem.
Yeah, this is so hype.
I grabbed some paint and blacked out the mannequin like a newspaper, leaving only the words that mattered behind. And the poem that was left pointed me to the final clue.
What
And
a
it
great
read,
concept.
Freedom from fear, flowers, new fields. When I heard the poem out loud, something new came to mind. The idea began to morph. I started to see something new.
Wow.
Glowing figurine standing inside what I thought was an ark. But as I began to draw it out, I realized I wasn't looking at
Crazy.
an ark at all. It looked more like a goalie. And since the poem had mentioned a field, it felt like it was asking me to go to a soccer field.
I feel.
But why there? Why soccer? I wasn't totally sure, but I knew this much. The idea was leading me towards other people, and if I wanted to see where it went, I had to go with it.
Alright, boys. I just
Okay,
crushed your
okay,
Red
okay,
Bull.
okay. Okay, I love like the whole color scheme of this video with the greens, the blues. I love that. Just the lighting with that, the visuals, or the I guess animations. This is cool. I didn't realize that this was a paper in front, like in the foreground. It adds so much more depth than just, a shot of him. The concept is so cool, actually. Going from this part, it really picks up for me. I'm like so invested right now. The realization, the looking at the mannequin, the painting the mannequin, or the dressing up of the mannequin, and then finding those words, using the green to really visualize like the realization. Yup. Aside from the production, the wardrobe, the lighting, all that, the concept feels very well thought out. You know, you would have to really have this idea, plan it all out. Like you're not just winging something like this. This is what I appreciate from Harold's stuff is that it feels very thought out. You're
Word,
trucking right,
sports, searching
rack
for action.
focus,
And then the idea deemed me worthy of another.
and it's such a slow focus. You know, I love that because you know it feels like the autofocus when people have autofocus on, it's so fast. That whole slow autofocus gives you a different vibe. You know, having a focus puller dedicated to just doing that makes such a difference.
And it,
I just crushed your Red Bull.
so I would go touch grass.
Now we gotta get the Pedialyte. Pedialyte, that's a must. I forgot my pickle juice. They didn't have it at Walmart. You ever been to an open play? You know that this is where the former could have gone pros. My knee was fucked up. You know, those kind of people, they come out. So, alrighty.
So I began my search for the idea and goal.
I love this. This feels very vlogish, you know.
Oh, fuck. Gracias. I meant that. Oh! Oh, shit.
Oh, good save. Ah, good
I'll
save.
be the fucking goal. I'll be that guy.
But after a while, nothing came. So I left and ran onto the field. I was just there, playing, not trying to control anything, just letting it come to me.
Otra.
And for the first time, I felt like I wasn't making something alone in my head. And maybe that was the point, because by the time the game ended, I still had no clue.
You can't get
I
this
started
joy
the
from
process
AI,
when
you
it
know what I
happened.
mean?
The idea wasn't waiting for me to do something. It was waiting for me to understand why I make things at all.
For me, I was focused on connecting with them. Even though I was competing directly against them, I still felt close. You see what I'm saying? And that's what art really should be. It should feel like a
Word.
way to connect with other people. At its core, for me, as somebody who doesn't do a very good job at connecting with people, it is my way of trying to have some kind of intimacy. Then fuck it, fine. Let it mean nothing. Because the meaning that I'll end up finding isn't so much in the idea, it's in the people I do it with.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And
I
then,
mean, I've slept maybe 12 hours.
The mix from
the idea gave me
the
final
vlog style
clue.
to this
Share that
feels
share this idea.
cool.
To anyone else, it was just a gentrified credit union. To me, a way to show that there was more to
Goal.
the world than what we
It
could
was
see.
a goal.
I finally understood what the idea wanted from me.
Please, you gotta show him standing in front of it. The cut of the drawing. Yes,
I was no longer
hell
trying
yeah.
to beat AI. I was just trying to make something with meaning. So I decided to build it in my
Oh, what a good
backyard.
shot.
I kept seeing this
Hype.
portal when I was in
Okay.
the car, so I gave myself one rule.
I
I could
get
only
it.
use what was already here. I
What a
found a set of old
connection.
flats and started building the shape I saw in the credit union. 2 walls on the outside, 2 in
Aw.
the middle. But there was one question that kept nagging at me. Who was the glowing figurine that I had seen in my vision before I went to the soccer field? I began to see the answer. The glowing figurine.
The Tristan music too has this very sci-fi Stranger Things vibe.
Was me.
Yep.
For Worrying about AI brought me closer to my process, closer to the reason that I create, to connect with people. For me, my ideas always
Connection, man.
challenge me.
That's
They
what it
always
is.
confuse me. But in return, they give me the gift of discovery. And I just think that if you use AI, you leave a lot of that magic on the table. I also think that our best ideas are already here. They're just waiting for the right perspective to find them. So if you're worried about AI, worry. Let that worry guide you to an idea that will give you the strength to keep going. Because while the world may value more, we know that there's far more meaning in less.
So many good things about this, but from the production standpoint, a lot of work, time, and effort goes into something like this. You don't just do this in the course of, I would even say, like a month. Like there's like a lot of planning, writing, getting the props, so many things. I wonder, yeah, the creative process for this is wild, but I do agree with the message. I think the the art of collaboration is something that AI can never take away. They could take away jobs, yeah, obviously processes, you could, editing, all that kind of stuff, but the art of collaboration, man, that's something that I'll always appreciate. So, this video, production value, super hyped, the visuals, the camera movement, come on now. Come on now. All right, y'all, if you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'll check y'all on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.